Okay, so I've got a deck of 52 cards. It has to be 52 for this to work. Actually, it's a bit of an older deck because I'm going to do a little bit of scribbling on the cards. I was too short, so I've had to put 2 jokers in here to make it 52. But that aside, the good thing about this is fresh deck, shuffled, hand it to the spectator, well, spectators in this case, get them to shuffle the deck. 3 spectators is nice, so they can all have a card each. Okay, you could do it with 1 person. It's just that they'd have to take all 3 cards themselves. So a spectator takes the cards, gives them a shuffle, and you say take out any card you want. So let's say they go in there, let's say they take out this card. Okay, then the next one, they pass the deck to the next one, they can shuffle the deck. Let's say they take out this card, they pass the deck to the next person. Let's just say they take this card. Okay, and then you're going to say, right, I want you to draw a little piggy on your card. Your best work of art, the best thing you can come up with, a little piggy. So let's just say the first person does something like this. What do you think to that little piggy? Not sure if it looks like a pig. Next one does something like this. Another little piggy. There we go. And the next one, how are we going to do this one? A big fat. It's looking more like a hippo at the moment. There we go. It does not look anything like a pig, but you get the point. Now, one of the spectators, you're also going to say, I want you to go into the deck and pull out a card that you think would make an ideal big bad wolf. So it could be the Jack of Spades, could be the 2 of Hearts if you want, but it's up to you. So let's just say they're going, they decide to use the Queen of Spades as the big bad wolf. So we now have the 3 little pigs and the big bad wolf out on the table. Let's say which one of these works of art is the best. I'm going to put it on display. Let's say this one's the best, right? Now, I'm just going to reassure you that this is an ordinary deck of cards. I'm just going to go through and show you. This is just a plain ordinary deck of cards, look. Perfectly plain, simple, standard deck of cards you've seen a million times before. All different, all mixed. And you of course have shuffled them. We have our three piggies. And this is these works of art. I'll put that one up for display so we can see that one. Now the big bad wolf is going to be sniffing out the piggies in the forest. The forest, aka the deck. So the piggies are going to try and hide from the wolf. So we're going to put the piggies face down and we're going to hide them. So first of all, let's take this piggy right here. You put it in. You pass this to the spectator. The spectator can mix the cards. Then you take the wolf, and the wolf is going to go in the deck, but face up. We need to be able to find the wolf when we need her. It's a female wolf this time. We need her in the future. We can pull her out of the deck because she's face up. Okay. So now, I would say to the spectator, just smooth the cards. Well, you don't need to do that yet. Before you do that, take about 1/3 of the deck and put it right here. So they take about 1/3, put it there and say, okay, now another 1/3 or half of what's left and put it right here. Okay, so they do that. Excellent. Now we're going to play piggy in the middle. So look, take this piggy And I'm not doing this, the spectator's going to do it. I'm going to say, take this piggy, put it in the middle. Piggy goes there, put this one on top. And let's take this piggy and put it in the middle. I'm going to put this one on top. And now I want the spectator to just smooth the deck like this, so there are no handle holds, no steps, like this. And after that, I'm going to take the deck, and I'm just going to give the deck a little bit of a mix up like this. Some cuts, just mix things up a little bit. And these piggies are now well mixed into this deck. It's very, very hard to locate any of these piggies. I'm sure you'll agree with that. I'm going to spread the deck, and we can see we've got the big bad wolf, as we expected, face up in the deck. Now what I'm going to do is just have a little telephone conversation with the big bad wolf to get some instructions on what to do next. Okay, so hello, is that the big bad wolf? Hi, how's it going? All right. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Ah, where are you going to get the pork for this this wonderful meal you've got planned then? The 3 little piggies. Oh, that's not very nice though, is it? What, you're gonna hunt down the 3 piggies and have them for dinner? You're gonna hunt the 3 piggies and have them for dinner. It's not very nice, is it? So we say, she should I say, not he. She says she's just the apex predator, just doing a job. So can't argue with that, can you? Okay, so how are you going to find the 3 piggies then? I don't know if that's going to work. They're very well hidden in the forest. Do you really think that you're going to find the piggies that way? Okay, so I've just been given instructions about what to do to locate the 3 piggies. I'm not so sure that this is going to be successful. Hello, are you still there? Oh, she's hung up. Okay, so the instructions I received were, first of all, that 10 cards be set aside along with the wolf, so 9 cards along with the wolf set aside like this. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards there set aside. And the next thing she wants me to do is again take 10 cards, but this time from the top and the bottom of the deck like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards, Klondike style, from the top and bottom of the deck like that. And then the big bad wolf reckons that that's it. That's it. The piggies are hers. But is this really going to work? Let's check it out. So we have here the big bad wolf, and we have 3 cards. Now if these 3 cards are not the piggies, it's a happy ending. The piggies have escaped. The wolf's not going to get a nice massive pork dinner that she's got planned, and the piggies will live happily ever after. However, unfortunately, the big bad wolf is very, very, very good at sniffing out little piggies. So I think we're going to find, we have here one of our little piggies, right here, another piggy, and sadly we've got the last piggy right here. So the wolf has found all the little piggies. So unlike the fairy tale, it's not a happy ending. So there you go, that's the 3 little pigs. So the 3 little pigs basically is my version or my development of the Whispering Jokers. So the Whispering Jokers is a mathematical, a self-working mathematical trick that's absolutely brilliant, and I don't know how it works. I must confess, I've got no clue how it works. I keep meaning to research it, but I never have done. And it's quite nice to be fooled by your own card tricks. I think that's it puts mystery into it for you yourself, as well as the people who are watching you do it. Right. So the Whispering Jokers is something that, I say, did I mention it fooled Penn and Teller? So it's a very, very interesting trick, involving two jokers flipped, inverted in the deck. This trick starts with an ordinary deck, an ordinary shuffled deck, and instead of using two jokers flipped, it puts the wolf in there, turned over, and one of the player's cards in there, turned over. One of the player's cards? One of the spectator's cards, turned over. And so it sets itself up as the Whispering Joker, so that then the other two piggies can be placed in the deck, and from then on it uses the Whispering Joker's system, if that makes sense. So you can go away and you research the Whispering Jokers if you wish. You may prefer the Whispering Jokers, it's much, much simpler. This trick has some extra complexity to it, but I'll run through it. I'll run through how it works. So you're handing out the deck. We're going to use the same cards, right? So you hand out the deck. The spectators are shuffling the cards. They're pulling out the cards they want. One of them is going to pull out the Big Bad Wolf. So we've got the Big Bad Wolf here. We've got their cards. You're going to give them the pen. They're going to draw the piggies on there. Now, first off, I'm using a sleight that I invented, which I don't know exactly what to call it, but I'm going to call it the display switch, right? It's quite peculiar. You need to display the card in quite an odd way. So that's why I said, well, look, we've got here one of the piggies. Imagining this might be perhaps the best piggy, or down to a little, if you have a little vote, which is the best piggy. And you're going to display this work of art for all to see, right? So that's your excuse for doing the display switch. So you put it on the bottom. Now, to do this display switch, you need about half a deck, right? You don't want to be using a full deck. Now that works really well for this trick because numbers are important, because this is a mathematical trick. So what you want to do is, I go through the deck showing it's an ordinary deck, right? But what I'm also doing is counting 24 cards, and I'm counting 24 cards in groups of 5. So I'm going to go 5, 5, 5, 5, 4 5s, and then an extra 4 cards, and that makes 24. And as I'm doing that, I'm saying, look, this is just an ordinary standard deck. You can see all the cards are different, right? So I'm going to put these 24 cards down right here. And then I'm displaying the card. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold it top and bottom using middle finger and thumb. And I'm going to use the index finger to bevel the pack so that it's going this way, like this. It's beveled to a point at this side. So then I can grab 2 cards as one. And I'm going to then spread the cards like this, which is quite an odd way. It's not the way you would naturally spread the cards. I'm using my left hand, my weak hand, to spread the cards. And you want to put this card in between the top, the first and second cards, the top card and the second card, like this. So you're displaying the card, and then you're explaining that the wolf is going to be sniffing out the piggies, and then you're going to bring it round to the stage where the piggies are going to all be turned face down on the table, ready to be hidden from the wolf. And as you come down like this, you're going to use your finger and thumb to go like this, to go like this, to push this card back and bring this back one forward. And as you also do that, you're also going to be using these fingers, and you're going to bring everything forward and use these fingers to pull this card back with the fingers as well. So the effect is, as you're going down like this, you're going to pull that back so it's hidden. It's not actually hidden at that point. It does take a bit of practice. So you're going to go like this, bring that all back and put the card down. And the good thing about this is the card never leaves the sight of the spectators. They're looking at the card through the whole process, and you really do want them to be convinced that this is their card. So that's one good thing about this display switch. There are other methods you can use, of course, to carry out this effect, because what the actual purpose of this is to switch out their card for a different card. And their card now is second from the top of this half packet, and that's where you need it. So you leave that there, then you turn your attention to the other half packet right here. There's actually 24 cards here, 24 cards here, then you've got these 4 cards. And what you're going to do with this half packet is you're going to spread it, put in their card, or what they think is their card. At this point, all the piggies should be turned face down, really. Turn all the piggies face down. Put this one in, and you're going to say, right, we're going to mix this up. And you invite the spectator to give the cards a mix and say, mix the cards so not even you know where your piggy is in that half packet. So they mix it up. And what you do, you spread this half packet, and you're going to put the big bad wolf as in the 10th position from the top. So you're going to count 9 like that and put the big bad wolf in there in the 10th position after the 9th card, right? Put that in, put that together, and there you go. And what you've got there is the Whispering Jokers, almost, not quite. The Whispering Jokers doesn't have these cards removed. In the Whispering Jokers, the person will take a third and look at the card and put it down. In this, they're taking you're splitting the pack into 3, then putting the cards in. So the numbers are slightly different at this point, but it's more or less the same. You invite the spectator to take a third of the pack of the deck and place it at the side. Keep track of which part of the deck is being placed where. So I always say take a third, and I always say put it down here. It's always to my right as I'm looking at the deck. Make sure they get a third as well. Keep your eye on them, because if they get too small or too big, it's going to mess things up. It needs to be roughly a third. So they take that, that's fine. Put it down there. And you say, okay, take half now of what's remaining. They take half, put it down there. And now you say, okay, we're going to play piggy in the middle. So could you please take this piggy, put it in the middle. They do that. And then you say, can you place this on this? And it has to be this way. This is the first third of the deck taken off. It has to go back first, even though it came off first. It's going back in a different order to how it came off the deck. So this one goes on first. The next piggy goes in the middle, and then this one goes on top. Invite them to straighten the deck up so there are no steps, no handle holds, so I can't cheat in any way. Now I like to give the deck a shuffle here, but you've got to be careful, because near the top is the spectator's card flipped the other way. You don't want to expose it. You can expose the wolf, that doesn't matter. But I always have a little peek at where I'm going to be bringing the deck up like this. I always have a little peek at what's here, because not far in, as you can see, we do have that inverted card in there. So I take a little peek, I give the deck a false shuffle, and I give it some false cuts. Once again, I'm careful whenever I cut, when I take that top one off, I'm careful. I give it some false cuts. Put the deck down and we're ready. Now you're going to spread the deck. Make sure you spread it properly, and make sure you don't spread it much past the wolf, because once again you don't want to expose the player's card. So you spread the deck from the bottom. The first card we're going to come across is the wolf, because we know the player's card is near the top. So you're spreading it like this. You catch sight of the wolf and you cut everything away to that point. The next thing, you take this deck and you spread it like this until you get a glimpse of the player's card. I keep saying players instead of spectators, I'm not sure why. The spectator's card. I can see the 6 of diamonds, a little glimpse of it on the edge there. So I'm going to take the wolf now, I'm going to put the wolf in right in front of the 6 of diamonds. I'm going to close it up like this. Then I'm going to flip it and I'm going to do the whole telephone routine, go through the telephone thing. And once I finish with that, I'm going to turn the deck so that the wolf is face up. I'm going to grab these cards that are in front of the wolf and push the wolf down to hide the fact that the player's card is right behind it. Now what's going to happen is you're using the number 10. You're going to say, okay, the wolf wants to be set aside as part of a packet of 10 cards. What you're actually going to do is count 8 cards, right, from in front of the wolf. So you're going to go, you're not going to count them, obviously, you're just going to thumb them off. So you're going to thumb off 8 cards and set them down like this. And all the rest of the cards, if there are any more, place them down here. That's important. Now if there were less cards, instead of doing that, you would take cards from here to add to these cards to make it 8. Okay, I've never had that happen, but it is possible. It could happen if those thirds that are cut are a bit weird. It could happen. What you're going to do now is double lift the wolf. Now I'm not too fussy about this double lift. I just thumb 2 cards off basically. I'm not going to do a really smooth double lift. It's a very small packet of cards to try and do a double lift with. But I'm going to pick it up and swivel it for a little bit of authenticity and put it down here. And then I'm going to count these cards as 10, because there is 10 now, 8 plus the wolf plus the player's card. You can count them now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards. What you do next, you put this little packet down here, you gather these up and put them on top of this packet. Very important to get that the correct way around. And you're going to use the number 10 again, and you're going to say you're following the wolf's instructions that you got on through the telephone call. That's why you put these 10 cards down here. And you're going to also get 10 cards from here, from the top and the bottom together. So you're going to count 10 cards from the top and the bottom like this. 1, and you're going to drop them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now the 10th you're not going to drop. Instead, you're going to gather up the bottom cards above it, above these 2, and have these as the bottom of the entire deck. The reason you're going to do that is because these are actually the piggies. So this is the amazing thing about this trick. This works every time. It's just mathematical. These will always be the piggies. Don't ask me how it works, as I've already said. It's a mystery to me, as much as it probably is to you. So you gather these 2 underneath the rest, and underneath the entire deck like this, so they are both on the bottom of the deck like that. They're there. You grab these, put them on the top, and you're finished almost, because we know the top cards are the wolf and the other player's card. The other player, I keep saying that, the other spectator's card. So we know that we've got 2 of the cards we need at the top, 2 of the cards we need at the bottom. So we're just going to toss the cards from one hand to the other, retaining the top and bottom cards. I'm going to do that twice. And it just happens, the top card is the wolf. We flip it, we spread these out, and we have the 3 piggies. So I hope you followed that. It's a little bit complicated, there's a lot going on there, but I think it's a really good effect. As I say, I'm still kind of refining it. I like the 3 little pigs theme, but I'm not sure that the steps that I'm going through in the trick do the theme justice. I'm always fiddling with it and tweaking it and trying to make it a little bit more of a fairy tale 3 little pigs theme. It basically deviates deviates in quite a large way when I start talking to the wolf on a telephone. It's a bit bizarre, but anyway, it's quite fun. It's quite amusing, and I don't mind the length of the trick. You know, it goes on a bit, but I don't mind long tricks that tell a little bit of a story and go somewhere, because at the end of the day, the effect is quite a powerful one, I think, at the end of the day. And you might as well spin a trick out, because when you've shown somebody a card trick, then they're hanging then, aren't they? They want you to show them another trick, or they want you to explain how the trick works if it's somebody close to you, like a friend or friends or family. You don't want to show them how the trick works. You have to show them another trick. But if you show them a long trick, I think long tricks are pretty good, because they spin everything out, and it's like you've had a decent meal rather than a little snack, you know. So that's my take on it. But yeah, I don't know what your opinion is on things like that. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care. I appreciate any thumbs up if you liked it, and any comments. I'll see you next time.